how many free pulls are we getting? 32. Yeah, 32. 32 from, includes everything. 32, 5 from here, a bunch from logging in 3 days, a bunch from missions, I believe, as well. Here, we get a bunch from here, like here, clearing and stuff. So they're really spread out, which is a little annoying, because there's like some from like the clearing missions. There's some from like logging in like 2 days from now. There's some in like, in this. There's some in the event shop. They're like everywhere. You're losing, as a newer player, you're losing 2 weeks, right? You're losing the prelude week, and you're losing the extra week of the event in order to save up cubes, right? Based on our quick maths, that's about 120 cubes that you're losing out on in order to put towards the event. And also, that means that the new events, the UR events, are coming 2 weeks earlier, right? Because there's not that extra time that we usually have. Usually, if this was the case, this would be a prelude event right now for the Russian event, and then 2 weeks of the event. But we're getting everything jammed all at once and getting it down to 1 week, from 3 to 1. So you're losing 2 weeks of cube saving up before the UR event comes, which is roughly, like we said, about 120 cubes. But we're only getting 64 cubes worth to make up for that 120 cube quote-unquote loss based on the time. Okay, let's say this is 2 weeks per rerun, right? Let's say even optimistically, we get a rerun every 2 months, right? That sounds about right. That's 6. What am I doing? How many? Yeah, six reruns. That's 12 weeks. 12 weeks, assuming they're all light reruns. 12 weeks in the year that they're quote-unquote saving. That's like a potential 4 events, 4 more events this year jammed in there, right? That's 4 more events worth of ships that you have to pull. Now, of course, for veteran players, the flip side is that they don't have to pull on the reruns, so they save their cubes. But again, newer players coming in that don't have any of these rerun ships, they're gonna have to. They get the 32 pulls, sure, but they're losing their effectively 120 cubes from those 2 weeks that they're going to have to shell out 2 weeks earlier, and then 4 weeks earlier, and then 6 weeks earlier, and then 8 weeks earlier, the more light reruns that we have. But it's kind of weird to balance, though. You can't just give, it's a rerun event, let's give everybody 200 pulls, right? Like, that's not going to happen, right? No, they're not gonna be like, hey, yeah, just here's enough pulls to basically almost, give you an 80% chance of getting everybody for free, right? There has to be a balance. Newer players coming in, they're gonna be able to fit in potentially 4 more events this year than last year, based on this accelerated now schedule because of these light reruns, right? Unless they give you that time back with like an extra off week, but I don't think that's gonna happen, right? Then you might as well have made the event 2 weeks. What's the point of making it 1 week and then giving us a dead week? That doesn't make any sense. What are we discussing? We're discussing the number of pulls, right, that we got, the number of free pulls versus how much it really costs a new player to lose those 2 extra weeks, the preload week of the rerun and the extra second week of the rerun, right? And how that accelerates the schedule. Because now, instead of a rerun taking 3 weeks of your time, 3 weeks worth of cube saving before the next new event, you only have 1 week of cube saving. Plus, you have to dump your cubes, obviously, if you have to pull on this banner. If this event took the 3 weeks it would push the UR event 2 weeks from now. But because it only lasts 1 week, that UR event comes 2 weeks earlier. Yeah, you're getting 32 free pulls to help you out, but that's just over half of what you're really losing out on. It's even nicer for veteran players. Actually, here's one thing. I am actually going to end up saving 7 cubes this event. Not only am I not going to spend any, but I'm also saving them. Because now, to get my daily free pull, all I have to do in order to get that free cube of the day is just use a ticket. And then that's it. I get my free cube. So this is this is even better for veteran players than it is for newer players. And the prices are still the same in here, right? Nothing has changed in here. We haven't even started talking about this rant and how everything is still priced exactly the same as a 2-week event, but we have half the amount of time. I really don't like this. Not to mention last time farming gear drop rates should be increased or something. That's true. Lost time farming gear as well. I don't understand the logic behind we're going to make this event. We're going to make it half the length, guys, okay?
Get good, kid.
We're going to make it half the length, okay? To make up for it, hard mode stages will give you ×3 once a day. And normal mode stages will give you ×5. ×5 on your 30 points. That doesn't make up for it. That doesn't make up for anything. And then they do this, bro. There was no cog arrays though. There was no cog arrays in the Skybound Oratorio shop. I remember that much. I'm okay with no cog arrays. I mean, would it be nice? Yeah, but I can understand why they don't. It's a rerun event, right? But it's like you've already set the precedent of PR4. Why give us PR2 then? Why going back? Why are we devolving? Everything should have literally been halved. Just have everything. That it was the easiest way to do it. Instead of putting these like ×5 normal mode, ×3 hard mode once per, leave it exactly the same as it was. Have the amount, have the cost. That's it. End of story. Congratulations. Everything is balanced. So there's a Skybound Oratorio rerun. Where are we at? Shop. Yostar, why? Season 4. It's right there, bro. Cog arrays, I'll let it slide because the precedent hasn't been set that cog arrays are added. Cog arrays have never been added to a rerun shop, so that's fine. But you set the precedent for PR4 prints, and then you come out with PR2 prints the next rerun, you look a little weird, you know? Looks a little bad. You come out with an event that's half the length, but all the prices are the same, you look a little bad. This was surprisingly, I'm gonna be honest, I'm surprised at how poorly implemented this was. Yoast are generally pretty good at this kind of thing. They generally have enough foresight in the player base and can generally good understanding of how this affects players, new and veteran, and generally implement things or mechanics or whatever in order to help people out. You know, Opsite comes out. It's like, oh, well, I'll have less time to farm stages or whatever for my drop. Here's 2x. Here's your 2x chips that allow you to do double the amount of rewards in a single run, saves you half the time, so you have the time to play Opsite. Cool, thanks, Yostar. It's like, oh, we're not going to give you oil anymore for retiring ships because 2.1 is stupid and should have been removed in the game a long time ago. But we'll make it up to you. We're going to give you a free pack every single week with 4,000 oil and a bunch of random shit that has nothing to do with this change, but we're going to give it to you anyway. And now it's like, we're going to implement an event. It's going to be half the amount of time, but we're going to keep prices the same. We're going to go back on the precedent that you're going to get the better PR prints in this store. And we know that you're going to lose 2 weeks worth of building cubes because of this accelerated new schedule. And now we're going to give you half of that loss back. So you still lose. They've definitely improved on things, right? Like the 4,000 oil pack was not implemented right away. It took a few days because of feedback from especially the Chinese community. That's fine. You know, they have in the past been able to look back, realize that, okay, maybe we got to make some changes a bit more and then implement those changes, right? We'll see how the next one goes. I don't expect them to make any changes in this one. I think it's a little too late for that. But for the next light rerun, be keeping a very close eye and see if they make any changes. Actually, I don't care. I mean, technically, if I was just thinking about myself, I wouldn't care either. If I wasn't a content creator, I wouldn't care. I'd just be like, okay, whatever. Like this is just free time for me to save up cubes. But I prefer to think about the common man coming in, you know, the 2-week player that wants to play Azure Lane, you know. The best way to keep a game alive is to constantly bring in new people and constantly retain new people, new players, right? If we're gonna start gatekeeping the game's gonna die. I don't want the game to die. I happen to like Azure Lane. Thank you very much. Giving free stuff does not give the desired response. Entitled people only complain about it. No more free stuff equals no more complaint. Okay, the problem is that with the changes, even with the free stuff, they're still worse off. That's the problem. That's the problem. They're not really complaining about the free stuff. They're complaining about the change that made the free stuff not good enough. That's the difference. It's not good enough because you're actually worse off than before we got the free stuff. If the system changes and you get free stuff and you're worse off than before the system changed, you know, it's going to sound like you're complaining about free stuff, but in reality, you're complaining about the system changing, right? TLDR, change bad. Losing 2 weeks, roughly 120 cubes, and we're getting 64 cubes back and faster UR events out of it, which literally only veteran players really win out of this. I don't understand why the whole shop is still full price with half the amount of time to play the game. I don't know why we got PR2 prints instead of the PR4 prints that we've already previously gotten in event reruns. So I am a little perplexed at the implementation of this. It's not even close. So yeah, I really hope that they kind of go back and think about this and make some changes for the next light rerun. I'm okay with the 1 week. Just make it up in other ways. Right now, it's made up in 0 ways. We lose 2 weeks and we get 1 week of cubes back. So we lose out on that week, right? The accelerated schedule, less time to save between events. Events go by faster. You get new events faster. You have less time to save up cubes. I don't know. Big disappointment. A little bit of a disappointment on this one. Little bit of a disappointment. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, gamers. Not feeling it. Not too hot right now. Not too hot.